We got this. Amazing.
Cool. Finally gonna start.
All right. Can I have the microphone? Thanks for your patience. Mike 1212, silent protest, Hawaii Shaka Khan. You ready to party? So this is a talk about silent protest. It's a very cool project we're presenting for the first time. We're excited to share it with you. All the pictures, all the videos stem from this project somehow. So all the stuff you see in those slides should inspire you. It stems from the idea that, we realize Miles and I live in San Francisco, and we're very lucky to live in an environment where sharing art and creating and sharing music with our friends peacefully is a given. We realize it's not the case everywhere, and we wondered how to enable that a little bit. So we're going to start with asking you to join the party. Basically, we're going to do a silent disco, which is normally, requires RF receivers. So typically you have a DJ, he's streaming over RF, and people receive through dedicated headphones on the 2.4 gigahertz band, because it's sort of liberalized by the FTC. So anyway, we have DJ gear right here. Let me show you the project we built. It's in the box right here. You can take a look whenever you want. This is bringing its own Wi-Fi network, and I'm going to show you how to join the Wi-Fi network to hear Mr. Miles spinning right now. So to do that, we're going to follow a quick video. You ready for this? You sure you're ready for this? All right, party time. Silent protest, baby. We're super excited. So there is a Wi-Fi network that we bring. It's called Silent. So, okay, you can remove the SIM card from your phone, put your phone in airplane mode before doing this, so that, imagine we had a protest. We don't want MC catchers to catch us. You join the Wi-Fi network, then you go to any URL. You're going to be redirected, because we own the network, so we own the DNS, to this landing page. And this thing plays video by itself. And this is what Miles is streaming from stage. All right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. If for some reason you cannot join this stream, there's a bunch of options. You can play the video directly from the web. It's MP3, so any web browser should do. And if really nothing works, you can download so you can look at the iCast streams and click on any of those to play the music. And if really nothing works, you can download the playlist as the PLS web radio and playing inside another player. So for instance here, we're playing inside VLC. Too easy? Everybody's connecting? Okay, if you need headphones, who needs headphones? We need volunteers to help us test the network.
Who wants headphones?
Just throw them away. Okay, folks, party time. This is cool or what? Yeah, baby, silentprotest.io.
Bad throw. Don't play baseball.
Back to your slides.
Cool.
And with this, I'm going to give it to Miles.
So maybe we give our freedom to be here together on this moment, listening to some music, talking about security for granted. It's so easy here in America. You can just get together, you can make a party, you can go to a party. So we had the idea of bringing the party the hacker way for places that are not like here. Maybe you can't get people together on a square. Maybe you can't even listen to loud music in public. And all those places have people who are trying to share ideas, who are trying to connect, and they are stopped by their government, by those mechanisms of control that limit the way they can action on the physical space and on a networked space. So we thought, is there a way to help, to enable people to connect, to talk, to bring their ideas together? Because in the end, that's what a party is, right? You have a lot of people who like music, who like to talk, who connect, go there, exchange ideas. And most of the revolutions, most of the things that actually changed the world were people getting together and not being censored or being monitored by external organisms. So if you want to join our party, you can go to the silent Wi-Fi. You can navigate to any website, and you get to the party. And that's a little bit of a different party. Yeah, you can listen to music, and you can listen to music in any public space. We actually did some at the top of a hill, some on public transportation, some on squares, where we could not only listen to the same music, but we could share ideas, we could share documents, we could communicate over video, and no ISP would know what we are doing. So on the agenda for today is to talk a little bit, how do you put a party together? So you need a team, you need motivation, you need an idea, and you need some technical knowledge and capability to put it all together. So that's the initial awesome team we had. I'm actually taking the picture. That's why it looks so good. But we have Jonathan, we have Ian, we have Sean, people that were cornerstones to make it happen. Everybody brought a little bit of what they know. They brought their knowledge on hardware hacking, they brought their knowledge on network hacking, they brought their ideas on how to make this on a way that we can actually use it. Because we all use networks, but we outsource the whole management of that network to people we don't know with interests that maybe are not aligned with us. And we also need people, because there's no party without people. So we have a bunch of DJ friends back in San Francisco who helped us put us together. Some of them are hackers, some of them not. And we have a big community of people, people from the movie industry, people from the technological industry, developers, and all kinds of people that came together and starts to talk about security, starts to talk about connecting, and starts to talk about how do we connect with other people that are around us on a way that's not the way we do today, that hasn't been working very well. We're all stressed, we're all alienated, we're all just dependent on how things come. So can we make our own world? And back in the 2010s, the world started feeling some shakes around the planet. We saw what happened in different pockets of the world when people got together to say this is not working. And this is not working on a political level, on an economical level, but also on an individual level. The people we are today is not working on making a society that's inclusive and that values every individual.
Chaka Khan, sea surf and seashells.
So I was talking in the beginning, sometimes you can't get together with people, and that's the case in Turkey. If you try to put a bunch of people on a square, what's going to happen to you? You're going to get arrested. If you go to Iran and you're trying to listen to music and you forgot your headphones, probably might end up in jail. So how we can make the party happen, how we can make people talk and share their ideas and feel safe doing that? Bring a silent disco. Imagine you can bring this party inside a box, and maybe one of the person that brought the box wants to go home. They have to pick up their kids. They have to go back to work. They take their box, they go away. The party continues. We have a distributed network that's portable. It's stealth. It's resilient, and it's expandable, which means it's not our network. It's the network of the people who are there. Maybe the idea of how the internet was supposed to be when it started. So we wanted to have a way to communicate. In America, there's a lot of parties that use the silent disco idea Jonathan was mentioning. You put some headphones, you have a bunch of expensive stuff, and you listen to one person sending all the messages out. What if you could send your message out? What if people could choose to listen to you? What if people could choose to communicate during the party? Maybe that's something weird now that we are on our smartphones. But maybe we could use the smartphones to reverse their logic and make them be used to connect on a way they are not right now.
I love this.
So the idea is to bring open source projects together to enable two-side communication and to enable people to bring the service that they think matters, that they think will help everybody live in a better world. I mean, I'm annoyed of passing by people all the time and never see each other. We don't exist, have so many people we connect with, but we don't actually connect with. We just do actions that are pre-programmed by other people. So we don't want to go to the internet, not on the way it is today, so let's go offline. We don't want this to stop because we need our music to keep on going and our ideas to keep on flowing. So we make it adaptable in terms of power. How do you put energy on top of a hill? Get a little ion lithium battery and you do it for 4 hours. But you also want some basic level of security. You use some network encryption. And we don't want people to have to do things. Every time people have to do things, they just stop, open a beer, sit on their chairs, and they're like, too much work. So can we just use your browser? And maybe we don't even need you to think that much. You just enter any random address, and you end up in the party.
Thanks for the requirements, brother. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the actual implementation we used. So this is the final prototype, by the way, the thing which is by the corner there. You can see the lithium-ion battery, there's a Raspberry Pi underneath, and there's a Wi-Fi access point. I'm going to go through this a little bit. So talking about hardware, we used the Unify AC Pro router because it's cheap. Dual band 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, meaning that it's a gigabit Wi-Fi access point, which is enough bandwidth to power about 200 clients streaming MP3 at 128K per second, which is like basically the minimal requirement to stream proper MP3 to all the clients. So just to explain a little bit how this works. So Miles right now has what's called a controller, a CDJ. This is connected to a software, so there's an open source software called Mix, which is capable of understanding the controls of the CDJ, play the music, and stream over Icecast. So the Raspberry Pi, as an Icecast server, is receiving all the data that Mice is streaming, and this is streaming to your phones over the gigabit Wi-Fi link. Dope? I see noise right here. You guys want headphones? You're listening to the music, party time. So, in terms of hardware, come back just one slide. The initial software on the Unify access point is absolute fucking garbage. We realized, I mean, let's be serious. They were like, if you want to install a DHCP server on your access point, you need to purchase additional hardware. So at this stage, we were like, this is fucking bullshit. We reflashed it with OpenWRT, and all problems were solved. You can see that with the bus pirates out here, Ian, who's not here today because he's partying in Switzerland, basically plugged the battery. He soldered the battery straight into the access point. The access point was supposed to be powered via this weird thing called 802.3, which is power over Ethernet. And this is a bit of a nightmare to bring over with us. So we have two options. Either we use the lithium-ion battery, which is the blue thing up there, which plugs directly inside the AP, or we use bigger batteries, like lead batteries. Our first prototype was using lead batteries. And we can also plug it directly straight to the wall. And the Raspberry Pi is powered from the access point. So that's the only source of power. Dope. The chat service, video service, and all that run on the Pi.
Software.
So in terms of software, yeah, we got Icecast, which is the main streaming server on your left. We have chat and video services, which are running on top. So we can be like, you know, two types. Either we host it ourselves, or we allow participants coming to the party to offer their own IP services. So we offer chat and video conferences, but people can bring their own stuff. And in terms of broadcasting, yeah, this is compatible. So this software right there is not Mix, which is the open source one. It's called Tractor, which is like the industry standard, or Alphabet. Serato is also popular. And yeah, it works out of the box. So how do you build a portable, scalable Wi-Fi network? Each access point, which is like $100 or so, can accommodate about 200 people for streaming, which is good enough for use. And if you have more than that and you want to scale to like thousands of people, we try to do that ourselves. We have like 3 access points, so like we try. You can basically mesh them over Wi-Fi. This is relatively new. It's called 802.11r and K for like fast transitions between access points and mesh over Wi-Fi. This is dope because I mean, we don't have to use like, you know, exotic meshing protocols like Batman and stuff like that. Like just straight Wi-Fi will do. So in terms of project timeline, we started in February. In March, we had like a first prototype working on lead batteries. At this point, we were like, okay, we need to test our prototype. And how do you test like, you know, a party device for 100 of people? Well, you throw a party. So we threw our first party in March. It worked better than expected. In May, we solved the problem of you know, miniaturizing and moving from a lead batteries, which we were carrying inside a cooler to prevent the police from shutting down the party, to this lithium-ion battery, and that was like, yeah, massive progress. In June, we moved everything to Docker. We did SSL and all the cool stuff. And right now, we're launching it from the first time. Dope. So in terms of features, we pretty much delivered everything in the requirement, from gigabit portable Wi-Fi that we can carry in the small wallet right there. Streaming works right now. Video conferencing should work if you try it. Chat too. We have file sharing, which is great for like art production and stuff like that, being it videos or pictures and stuff like that. And the whole thing is open source and available on GitHub already. So we encourage you to like participate, fork it, extend it in any way you like. Let me show you our previous prototypes. I love those. So the one on the left, you see this thing? That's like 40-pound lead battery. That's our first cool prototype. Portable as it gets, baby. The one in the middle is covered in glitter, so we call it San Francisco camouflage, because if the police arrest you with that, like that looks totally naive and innocent and glittery in San Francisco.
It's just like a Louis Vuitton bag.
And the one on the complete left is like, yeah, it was a box, ghetto made of cardboard. That's what we used over the last weekend, actually.
It's homeless style.
Hardcore prototypes, baby. Silent protest.
Have you ever thought about making a party inside a cave?
So we're going to show you some demos. They're mostly videos, just to give you an idea of what we're going to go through. We're going to show you how to set up a party outdoor, illegal rave. How to party like hackers, proper. And how to deal with the police when they try to shut down your party. That's at the point where usually you shut down the speakers and you tell them, no, we're just testing a silent protest or silent disco, and you have the police to join. So we experimented that over the weekend. Let me show you. You ready for this? Make me some noise. Make me some noise or I don't play it. Thank you, Chaka Khan. We're so happy to be here. All right, party time. All right, so this is the final box, what it looks like. Yeah, we got rid of the cardboard. I know you're very sad. It looks slightly better like this. I took the plane with this, by the way. It looks like what? Exactly right, baby. So that's like Tractor, the main software that DJs use to control controllers. Unless they're in a club where it's like all automated, there's no software. This is the configuration to stream from Tractor directly to Icecast. So that's what's happening here, very much. So that's the setup in the cave party Miles was telling you about. So yeah, this is pretty ghetto and underground, right? In terms of rave parties. So that's the access point. We're on the floor in a cave in a public place. We have a generator, which is the noisy bit. And yeah, that's the other end of the cave. So that was the day before the party. Underground or what? We like to have the DJs sitting on the floor. They're, you know, less cocky about it. This is pretty sick, folks. So that's the same CDJs. Yeah, that's me laughing. That's the same CDJs. That's like the next day inside the cave. So you can see the setup in the middle. We used real speakers, and like at some point, like we switched to silent disco and switched back to like, speakers. We very much want you to do this. This costs nothing, so do your own parties like this. That's the takeaway from our talk. So that's a different angle. We had Wi-Fi with one access point in the entire cave, which was like, yeah, pretty long, right? Rave in the cave. So that's last weekend. That's another party. It was a full moon, so we decided, like, yeah, let's have a party for the full moon. I'm not going to give you the exact location. Amazingly, police cave and let us party. So that's our setup. You can hear nothing. It's all a silent party, right? So that's very much the setup. Welcome to Twin Peaks, baby. Oops. It's a public place, it's okay. That's very right. We should have an eclipse party. So Luis, what's going on? So that's one of our DJs. To give you some context, the police are those people on the back, and they're like, you need to shut down the party now. So we negotiated with them like, how about we go silent disco? And they're like, yeah, that's cool, that's cool. So that's one of the benefits of like, yeah, carrying this around even if you have like proper raving stuff. People were pretty tired. We've been partying for 8 hours at this point. So to show you a little bit like how the broadcast works, when you have this blue button, it took us hours to get it to work, but that means like Tractor is streaming. You can pick it up from like laptops. You can pick it up from like phones. There's Jill. She was supposed to be my co-speaker today, but she bailed out. So thanks to Miles for coming. And since it's all IP from there, you can bring your own services on top of it, right? Yeah, she's cool though. So that's the same thing, but live at an unknown location outside. If you've been to San Francisco, you might recognize it. Okay, so we have the DJ sitting outside here in the dark. That this mysterious thing, it's actually Jill. And you can see that we're streaming from our phones, yeah, outdoors. Do you recognize the access point right there? Maybe in the dark?
There's approximately 30 people in there, you just can't see.
Yeah, so that's Jill sitting in the floor, because that's how we treat our DJs. Yeah, the view outside is not bad. Yeah, life is hard at Salesforce. So okay, in case you didn't get it, we're going to show you from an iPhone. Actually, getting the iPhone to connect to the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network was a problem. They don't like bands which are too thin, so we had to change them from like 40 to like 80 or something like this megahertz, and like then it connected properly. That's the first setup with the battery. That's the size of our first prototype. So it's exactly the equivalent of what we have here, right? It was just like way shitty, and yes, my apartment looks like a hackerspace. Thank you. That's the first time it worked, basically, so that was pretty exciting. My landlord thinks I'm building a bomb. Yeah, look at that. All right, you can see some of the settings of OpenWRT. And like, yeah, redirecting to a new URL is gonna, yeah, launch the videos. Should be unsurprising at this stage. Silent protest, baby. Party like a hacker. With this, nice, future work.
It's all fun and games. You can make a party, that's very interesting, but you can actually protest in a censored country like that. So we have some ideas on moving forward, enlarging the decentralized services that we have and the redundancy scheme that we managed to create so far. The mesh Wi-Fi still needs some work in order to be properly functioning for more than 1,000 people. And I think the most interesting thing is, how do you make that so no one can see? Right now, we're developing a shoe, platform shoe. It's okay in San Francisco. You can put the whole network inside your shoe. Moving forward, we've been thinking about dresses and suits, where we'll be able to just go around to work and maybe you're enabling someone to talk with someone else. And that's a silent protest. Remember, you can always come online and contribute. If you're in San Francisco, you can always come to our parties. If we're not, we can stream it to you.
Thanks for attending. Thank you, brother.
Aloha.
Malaho. With this, do you have any questions?
I have a question. Is that cave, was that Land's End?
The what?
Yes. Yes. Do you know of any other good places for us to make a party? Okay, let's connect after the talk. Let's talk about this. Any other questions? There in the back. Definitely, it's on the making. We do have friends across the world and some network of people who are trying to do things simultaneously and synchronized, and we've been actually thinking about.
So technically, it's pretty easy to have Tractor or Mix, which is the software we're using to connect the controllers to a computer, to stream over, for instance, Shoutcast or Icecast, which is IP-based. So you can totally do that over the internet. Our current assumption, though, is that internet is not safe. That's why we bring our own network. Like, if you paid attention to latest, FCC regulation and things like this, your ESP is going to be allowed to, like, basically deny your right to net neutrality and inject whatever the fuck they want inside your web traffic. So to prevent that, we prefer to bring our own offline network that we carry with us. Because we know that what's going on this network is not seen by the government or your ISP or like whoever. That said, if you really want to connect like our current setup to the internet, you absolutely can. And then you can get the shortcast or icecast flux to stream directly to your Pi access point. So yeah, we can do that over the internet. For most of our usage, though, we don't want anything to do with the internet. No logs, no crime, baby. But it's a great question. Yes, we have hostPD running on the Pi, and that's how we do the DNS hijacking. When you go to apple.com, basically we say, hey, anything.com redirect to the IP address of the Pi. That's very much how we do it. We could run everything on the wireless of the Pi, but you would have 5 people at your party. We need hundreds, so we need gigabit Ethernet, baby. I mean, we need a gigabit network. That's very much where we couple the Pi, which, you're right, could have all the services and as a shitty embedded Wi-Fi, but that's why we connected it to, like, you know, a more muscle-capable Wi-Fi with gigabit. Yeah, good question. This is it. Thank you, Chaka Khan. It was fun.